going on? Everything good? Yeah. So yeah, we're live. I kind of have a plan. I'm doing my thing, which is like a loose plan. Some things that I have to talk about. If you guys want to, things that I was thinking of talking about and some reactions and stuff I was gonna do. If you guys have any questions or you want to talk about something else, let me know. Just bear with me. Sending some shit out. Whatnot. Hey, Shaquitla. Thanks so much for joining me, babe. Appreciate it. You're awesome. And of course, my daughter decides to send me a text right now. Yeah, she's confirming. Uh, so next week is her last week until she goes on break again. So she's about to go on half term. So they get a week break in the middle of the semester here. Fix this camera a little bit for you. So her semester started at the end of Christmas break. She's been in school for like in session for like 6 weeks. It'll be like 6 weeks by the end of February or by the end of next week. And she's gonna have a week off. Then she goes, hold up, let me check something. Yeah, so she's been back for 6 weeks since Christmas break. Yeah, I made some notes. She she gets a week off, then 6 weeks, then she gets 2 weeks off for spring break, then another 6 weeks of work, of school. Then she gets a week off for half term. Then she goes for 7 weeks, and then it's the end of the school year, and she gets a 5.5 week break for summer. Like, for real? I don't know. For me, that just seems a little bit crazy. I don't know. Yeah, hold on one second. I just want to check audio. Turn that off because my feedback. Yeah. So these are my notes. So yeah. How do I end this sharing? That was some. That was actually really simple, and I should know fucking better. Yeah. So she has. So my daughter finishes school next week for half term. She has a week off. Then she goes for 6 more weeks, and she gets 2 weeks off because it's the end of term and it's spring. So like her spring break. Then she goes to school back to school for 6 more weeks, has a week off. She might even have she has so much time off. She's complaining to me last week. She wanted to take like a mental health day. Like, you go to school for like 6 weeks. We never had time. We had like a day. if we had time off in the middle of the semester. We got a winter break and a spring break, and that's it. Like, that's America, obviously, versus UK school. And to be fair, summer is like 5.5 weeks or 6 weeks as opposed to like 10 weeks. But still, I mean, you get a lot of fucking time off. Just relax. Here in the UK, you get everybody gets a lot of time off. They have a much better like work life balance here. Uh, it's a big culture of working to live, not living to work, as opposed to what it is in America, which is very much living to work. Anyway, um, the first thing I wanted to talk about today. I guess I should do kind of an intro, huh? So I just immediately started talking and bitching about my daughter in her school. Um, yeah. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. So this is a live stream. I'm not going to call it what I used to call it, Expat Tea, because there's actually a YouTube channel called Expat Tea that I didn't know at the time. So I'm trying to figure out a new name for this when I do go live or do podcast version. If you guys have any suggestions or anything, let me know in the chat or the comments. Appreciate that. Yeah, so I'm trying to work on that. So I'm just gonna do, Hickson Diaries live for now. Obviously, that's not something I have to worry about with someone else copying. But yeah, so thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate it. I know it's like an afternoon. People are working, all that, but yeah, to be honest, kind of bored. So I'm looking for a job and all that. So if you could like this, that's cool. If you could share screen, share the screen, share the stream, let people know we're live. They can join. That's cool. And yeah, let's see what's going on. So there's a few things that I'm going to do today. I wanted to talk about, and then a few things that I was going to try to do some reaction videos. I don't know if I'm going to get copyrighted on that or not. I've gotten copyrighted on the last few that I've done. So, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, whatever else comes up. So, yeah, thanks so much. Okay, I think I said that like 12 times. All right, here we are. I wanted to open the show today with my take. It's a hot take, I guess. I mean, a lot of people argue with me about it. But I wanted to talk about Valentine's Day as it is February. And for those of you who are not in America or familiar with it, in America, it's actually Black History Month. I don't think that's a universal thing. I'm pretty sure it's an American thing because based on our history. But um, yeah, it's a Black History Month, and I feel like that should take precedent over Valentine's Day and President's Day, but uh, it never seems to. Valentine's Day is always on steroids in America. It doesn't seem like it's that bad here, but like advertisements and stuff have been all over the place and very, very much in my face. And I fucking hate Valentine's Day. Now, listen, I'm not a hater. I'm not, a lot of people assume that like I'm not romantic and I hate love and blah, blah, blah. That's not it. Okay. I am in a relationship. I'm extremely happy with my relationship. I like romantic things. I like getting flowers. I like, having a nice romantic dinner and stuff like that. I love all that stuff. Okay. So it's not that. But Valentine's Day is cringy. It's cheesy as hell. It's over overhyped. Okay. It's one day. It's like a wedding. It's one day out of your whole relationship or out of your whole year of your relationship if you're lucky enough to have it that long or even longer. And everything is insanely overpriced and everything is difficult to get and just really, really in your face. So if you're in a relationship, you feel obligated to do something, you feel obligated to act a certain way, or put pressure on somebody else to act a certain way or do a certain thing or give a certain gift, or heaven forbid they forget, right? Like it becomes this huge friggin' ordeal. In either case, whether you're doing something or you're not doing something, there's, restaurants have set menus and you have to have reservations really far in advance. Places that if you're going to go away or something, everything's friggin' booked months ahead of time and it's really overpriced and it's just insane. It costs too much fucking money. It brings out the worst in people, and people actually break up because of Valentine's Day. And I think it's stupid. Now, I'm not hating on you if you want to celebrate it with your partner and you guys like it and you can deal with all of that stress and all the stuff that surrounds it. Godspeed, go for it. But for me, it's dumb. I can't take it. And if you're not in a relationship, then it's a good reminder to just make you feel like, oh yeah, I'm alone. Thanks. I should be with someone, right? Because it's Valentine's Day. Blah 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 blah. Like, it's just stupid. It's just a completely, marketing made up holiday to sell jewelry and cards and whatever else, and to just make people feel obligated to be nice to somebody that they should fucking be nice to all the time. Yes. Hi, Maverico. Thank you. Yes. Get married the day after. He knows what I'm talking about. It's all cheaper. It's everything's cheaper the next day. Just do that. It's much, much cheaper. And it's it means much more. I love getting flowers. I love getting gifts. I love when my partner tells me, they care about me and they want to do something romantic and sweet. But it means much more to me when they do it on some random day at any time in the year or throughout the entire year, rather than somebody, doing it because they feel obligated to do it. And you should be nice to that person and show them that affection all fucking year long. Again, I'm not trying to hate on people that like Valentine's Day, and if it's for you guys and it works, go for it. But for me, no, it's stupid. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of resources. It's stressful, and being somebody just out in it and seeing people getting all consumed about it and everything, it just cringes me out. So that's my hot take on Valentine's Day. Yeah. What do you? I don't. I mean, I know I sound like a complete bitch, and I always get a lot of shit for this, from everybody, no matter who asks. The only person that I've actually been able to get on the same page with on this is my partner, who also is, pretty romantic and likes to do things like that, but gets that it's overhyped and it's not worth it. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. Anyway, let's see. Fucking allergies today. It's nice out. The sun is out. Birds are chirping, and it's windy, so my allergies are going insane. Whew. All right, I have to get that off my chest. I have to do that every year because I just don't understand. I just don't understand the hype. I just don't. All right, let's do that. Let them waste the time and money. That's right, Shakri. But I mean, I'm not gonna get back into it. But yeah, that's pretty much how I feel as well. I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do some reactions, and like I said, new with this. You guys know I'm a fucking newbie, and I don't know what I'm doing. I hope I don't get. Oh, I'm gonna get copyrighted, most likely, but we're gonna try it anyway. So yeah, let me just figure it out here. So this is a YouTube video, UK and USA culture explained by Jimmy the Giant, and I'm just gonna play it and see.
Britain and America are like twins separated from birth. For one raised in fine aristocracy, and the other was abandoned at a gas station and told, good luck. These two great nations have dominated the world both economically, militarily, and culturally.
Everyone in Britain got in a big old boat, and we set sail, and we robbed, and this will sound far-fetched, everyone in the world.
Whilst having spawned from the same origins, they went off in their own two directions.
This isn't gonna work. All the ads and shit, probably.
And a great flight. You all should think that we're great. There's no reason for you to not think that you're great.
I've started to get this feeling that I'm totally fucked. You know, everything's fucked.
Today, we will analyse American versus British culture.
The American comic hero is a wisecracker who is above his material and who is above the idiots around him. You know that scene in Animal House where there's a fellow playing folk music on a guitar. John Belushi picks up the guitar and destroys it. And the cinema, he just smashes it and then waggles his eyebrows at the camera. Everyone says, God, he's so great. Well, a British comedian would want to play the folk singer.
Comedy is a great way of revealing a culture's ideas. So American comedy and British comedy, they're very different. American comedies always tend to be built around the idea of like optimism and positivity.
Be curious, not judgmental. I like that.
There's typically always the motion that things can get better. You can see this in the character Leslie Knope in Parks and Rec.
I can do it. I can crush him. I promise.
And typically, in an American comedy, the cool guy is the main character.
So you know how to take the reservation, you just don't know how to hold the reservation.
Now, let's compare that to British comedies. Typically, the idea in a British comedy is that life will always disappoint you.
We need to have a talk.
You finishing with me?
We weren't ever really.
Oh,
I see you not around, but here.
see you.
That is true. British comedy is super like all about awkward situations and really kind of self-deprecating.
Secondly, you'll never make it in life. All your dreams and hopes and optimism is ultimately futile.
I have this dream. You and I own this skyscraper office block on the South Bank. And above us, on top of the skyscraper, in 50-foot-high neon lettering, are the initials of Trotters, independent traders. Just above your head is the word tin.
Another idea that you always expect the worst thing to happen.
So, yeah. Right, thank you very much. You like it? Oh, so I put that on you.
Brilliant. You want another beer? Was that my beer? Yeah. Do you want me to get you another?
Yes.
And finally, the main character, the point of focus in a British comedy will typically be some awkward loser.
I like your glasses.
I'm afraid they're not for sale. Laugh all you want, they're not for sale.
So this leads
because
us
a lot
to
of British men are
our first
awkward
key
losers.
cultural
No
difference.
offense
And that
to all
is
my Brit friends.
American idealism
I actually like it,
versus
though.
British realism. Instead of me telling you this, I'm going to show you it through expressions. Americans will say things like this. Well, you know what they say. The sky's the limits. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Whereas in Britain, we'll say things like, got hope for the best, but expect the worst, mate. We literally have a thing called sod's law. Well, can go wrong, will go wrong. And then let's say you have a situation where something is looking good. You've got an opportunity. American, well, old boy, don't count your chickens before they hatch. And then looking awful, Americans say, well, it's always darkest before dawn. In England, if everything's going well, we'll say, yeah, mate, but this is just the calm before the storm. So you might be wondering, why? Why do we have these very distinct attitude differences?
before we go any further with this video, cold turkey might be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. We're talking about today's video sponsor, Fume. When it comes to bad habits, not everything is inherently wrong. So instead of some drastic, uncomfortable change to your lifestyle, why don't you just remove the bad from your habit? Fume is an innovative and award-winning device that does just
Yeah,
to the
skip very
future.
long
But yeah, it
there.
might be going well now, but tomorrow a swarm of Belgians might come over and behead us. Understanding our history gives us this cautiousness to being too optimistic about the future. As well, you have to combine the religious attitudes of the Church of England. The Church of England was very much a believer in the idea of original sin. The idea that humans have fallen from God, we're all inherently bad, although we do have the ability to be somewhat redeemed. This has engineered a sort of attitude of cautious optimism. We're not entirely 100% pessimists. All of this combined with the fact that our weather is pretty shit.
Rain, rain, rain. Us Brits endure it on 199 days of every year.
You could literally have a week of sunshine in England and think, you know what, this Saturday, let's go for a picnic with the family. And then because your dad showed some optimism in the weather, God will smite you with a torrential downpour for the next month.
That's 100% true.
And so this general attitude can be completely contrasted with American
So
optimism.
true.
And that stems from, if you're the type of person to leave Britain, a established nation that has infrastructure, etc., hop on a boat, travel for weeks, months across uncharted waters to arrive on uncharted lands, to do that, you need at least an ounce of optimism. Look, water, land.
Bombs are still falling on children lives apart.
This is
They're
important,
hungry,
don't get me
they're
wrong, but
frightened,
like,
they're desperate for
just
safety.
trying.
Land. And it's like after discovering this new land, which was a crazy thing to go and do, America then went through two great awakenings. I don't know what happened in the first one, if they just hit snooze or something, but the first great awakening was in 1730 to 1740, and then the second one in 1795 all the way up to 1835. So what happened in this was that the religious attitudes of America had evolved. New ideas around like self-improvement. The idea that everyone has the ability to shape their own destiny, their own future. Humans can be
I know you can believe in yourself.
They had strong convictions around the importance of working hard, as well as very pragmatic attitudes, the idea that things should be done well and efficiently. These last two led to a very strong cultural focus on capitalism and efficiency in business, which all of this manifested itself in the idea of the American dream.
The American dream is just the ability to achieve. Anybody can do it, but you're not just going to get it because you want it. You got to be willing to work hard. You got to apply a lot of hard work. You got to apply faith. You got to apply persistence. You got to never, ever give up.
So basically, the idea of the American dream is that any old Bob who still lives at home with his parents, 40 years old, anyone can go and do anything they want to in life.
Americans are told they can become the next president of the United States. And they can. British people are told it won't happen to you. And they carry that with them.
I don't know what's probably going through your head. You might hear that and think, fucking hell, why are Britons so pessimistic? I mean, we literally had the biggest empire on earth. Why are we so deflated? And so that leads us to a very core cultural difference between England and America, and that is class structure.
I was brought up in a poor family. Really, we had nothing, really. If I could get in a position that some of them people in, I would like to be in it. These lords or ladies or peers or you're talking about them class of people.
The Curzon family started with William the Conqueror.
In Britain, the idea of class and where you stand socially has been a very core part of our identity. Until very recently, as a Brit, your whole life was decided before you were born. These differences between the upper class and the working classes existed through most of British history. There's like this idea that the upper class
pure blood. They were like chosen by God. They had divine rights. They literally referred to themselves as blue-blooded. And they were much better than the grunts working the coal mines to power their beautiful machinery. And so there's always been this attitude in England of like judgment between the classes. The upper class and the working class hate each other. And class is interesting because it's not just defined by wealth.
We give dinner parties 2 or 3 times a week. This enables us to keep in touch with our wide circle of friends. We give a wine and cheese do once a month. This enables us to do it on the cheap. Her mother comes round Saturday nights and drinks my Guinness. This enables her to get drunk for nothing.
Class is much deeper than simple wealth. It's the accent you talk in, the way you behave, the schools that you're educated in. If you're from Cambridge School of Witchcraft and Wizardry versus the community college in Shittham, literally everything you did would be defined by class.
I think working class people in general feel this kind of thing weighing down upon them, and I can't put it into words of what it is. But I think people watching this will understand that you feel it pushing you down all the time.
And so there's this understanding that there isn't much class mobility. If you are lower class, even if you got wealthy, you could never be upper class. There's no way. And so this kind of demoralization spawned a attitude in British people that things can't really get that much better. All can dream. The attitude is that anyone can be anything. The underdog archetype that you see in films like Pursuit of Happiness or The Founder. Class does exist in America, but it is very different. You're probably going to see more things between North and South divides and racial divides. But I do, as a British person, quickly want to make a caveat. The British people have never had like...
I agree with most of what he's saying so far, but the American dream in America is very different now, and the class system is actually a lot more like what it is in Britain and America at the moment. It's just like a house. It's really like a house of cards. There's like a banner over the country. It's like, yeah, you can really, if you really work really hard, you can. But in most situations in America, it's not like that. Most people are also judged by their class, and most people don't have many opportunities to get out of their class in America, as it is right now.
Outright defeatism. British people will try in life. They'll try very hard, but we just don't like to get our hopes up. We are optimistic, but just in a very cautious way. Like, Americans might aspire to be a millionaire CEO of a big tech startup, whilst British people will aspire to one day shop at Waitrose.
My wife doesn't shop at Waitrose. It's the middle class option. People who shop at Waitrose, they like to drop it into conversation. Sorry I'm late, I was just at Waitrose!
So the explanation of the class system leads us to another point, which is politeness and expressiveness. Here's your food, good sir. What the fuck is that? Everything okay with the food? Oh yes, lovely, thank you. I would say British people are kind of overly aware of being rude and impolite, which has some benefits. You know, we treat people really well. We hate to be awkward, and we like people to feel relaxed. But it can cause British people to take way too much shit and not stand up for themselves.
I need to get some better streaming software if I want to do this more often. Sorry about all that, you guys.
I slap you and you want me to hit you on the other cheek?
Americans will tolerate less bullshit, which is a good thing, but then sometimes they can be a bit rude and a bit overly confrontational. I have waited exactly 5 minutes. It is a Big Mac. How long do you need? This difference when it comes to being polite probably stems from the British Reserve and American individualism. British people are very reserved. Typically, in public, we all sit like this, we're all very quiet, we don't laugh too loud, and we try and be really polite. And this can stem from the Victorian era. There was very strict social rules over behaviour, dress, the way you express yourself. It was very stern and rigid. The reason we tolerate so much shit is because we have the religious idea of turning the other cheek. As well, our probably over-awareness of people's personal space and being rude can probably stem from the fact that we live on a small island very closely together. We don't have a lot of space and we're all on top of each other. So we have a strong respect for people's personal space.
Okay.
And then, like, some of it is the fact that the upper class social attitudes probably trickled down to the working class, where it's always seen as being a lower class thing to speak loudly and have bad manners and be overly confrontational.
Can you come back in, please?
Oh my God, this is well harassment. I'm going to take this to the Court of European Rights.
And so, British people have the attitude of a stiff upper lip, don't show emotion, don't complain about your problems.
Well, that was fucking scary.
Whereas Americans, that is not the case.
All right, what country are we in? In the United States. You're goddamn right. You can't take a picture here. Okay, First Amendment. Get back over there.
I have a right to speak. I have a right to speak.
This is my right as much as it is yours. This is my land as much as it is yours.
To Americans, I am important. I am the center of the universe. After the Great Awakening, there was a strong focus on individualism. Emotionality and expression is a good thing. Being outgoing and extroverted is a very American thing. British people are very introverted. Americans, after things like the Bill of Rights, have a strong focus on their personal rights and freedoms and liberty. In America, all men are created equal, and so they don't have this we all exist and we all deserve respect. And so this leads to politics and the attitude toward authority.
This is an illegal detention at this point. You better get your shit straight. Oh, I will file a complaint. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Right as soon as we leave.
Am I not human to you, huh? So
Goes
in
on too
small
loud on
government
more
and self-autonomy,
occasions than
due
not.
to the British ruling America and, being a bit naughty, a bit rough around the edges. As well, Americans are very rebellious. The formation of America was around escaping the Church of England. In Britain, on the other hand, it is different. We do have a trust in our government. It is waning currently, but typically we trust in social order and we don't really make too much of a big deal about infringement of our rights. And that's probably because of years of unquestioned power by monarchs. And again, the stoicism and the idea of stiff upper lip, not complaining too much, not making a big deal. It kind of has led to this polite, submissive behavior, which sometimes is a bit embarrassing.
Careful, sir, it's hot. Oh, sorry. Might burn yourself. Yeah, sorry. Would you like some salt and pepper? Oh, yeah, sorry.
Like, you can kind of picture the movie scene of a British person, an American person dealing with authority. Excuse me, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Listen, you're a tough guy. Don't talk to me like that.
I love how his accent's always a southern.
It's fine, we'll leave, for sure.
But darling, you did own the restaurant.
Yes, but I don't want to be rude. And so with all this, you can extrapolate these attitudes and understand different attitudes towards certain issues. For instance, guns. Americans see guns as like a right to protect themselves from the government and other people. America's fast food and subsequent obesity problem has stemmed from the ideas of efficiency in business, not wanting to waste time on food, taking too long to cook. And then you have things like healthcare and welfare. Like in Britain, we have a pretty strong healthcare system. Let's not get into that. Whereas Americans are far more reserved on bringing anything into public domain, especially healthcare. Britain has an obsession with tradition and upholding tradition, whereas America have a strong focus on new and innovation, new products, technology.
By making the screen taller but not wider, you can see more of your content without the need to scroll. We're making scrolling a thing of the past.
And so look, I've picked apart British people and American people. I've made jokes, I've pointed out some bad things, but I want to say, and I think this is true, Americans and British people have a very deep mutual respect for each other. I think very much these days, ever since the war, we've had what has been dubbed a special relationship. I don't know if that's a gay thing or something, but whatever. As a Brit, I can say honestly, I really do love Americans. I love being around Americans. I really admire their confidence. They're so easy to talk to. They're very warm, open demeanors. British people can be very reserved at times.
Excuse me, young man. Is anyone sitting here?
No.
Would you mind if we sat here?
No, it's fine.
I'm Ronald. This is Pammy. Actually, you forgot to tell us your name.
Peter.
Peter!
It can be pretty depressing talking with British people about the future and your ambitions. Whereas Americans are all patting you on the back saying, yeah, you can do it, bro. And I think Americans do appreciate British people as well. They probably appreciate our realism. We don't really bullshit ourselves. We're very honest. We know our strengths, but we also know our flaws. Often Americans see us as well-spoken and intelligent, and you can actually see our comedy has massively influenced modern American comedy. There's a lot more awkward, dry humor in American television now than there ever was in the past. And obviously, Americans fucking love our traditions, arguably more than us.
Yeah.
And it leads me to a final thought, and that is about cultural homogenization. With the internet, culture across the world has sort of melted together. We're all seeing the same media constantly. I will listen to endless American podcasters telling me to go after my dreams and fix my life or something. The idea that the internet is bringing lots of different value systems together and you can kind of choose which one suits you, as opposed just the one that dominates your country. But I do wonder, are we going to see less of these interesting differences, and are we just going to become a sort of best of greatest album kind of thing? Let me know in the comments if you want to see more on this topic. Check out the Afters podcast where we talk more about this. Like and subscribe to the channel.
That was good. He's good. Yeah, that makes total sense. Most of what he said, I completely agree with. Except the class system, but it's difficult to explain to people who haven't lived in America that the class system is much different than a lot of people realize, just because our propaganda is incredible. But yeah, most of that cultural stuff that he said was % true. And I really liked the comment he said about the monarch and how like Americans probably love the monarch more than anybody. It was definitely true. So the coronation of King Charles was this past year, right? For anyone who wouldn't know. And they definitely, I don't remember how many, I couldn't even tell you how many American friends like reached out to me. It was like, you get to be there for the coronation. How cool is that? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, it's cool. And it's a big deal, obviously. But like, they took time off work and everything to see it, and I'm like, it's not worth any of that. I mean, in my opinion. I mean, it's cool to see, but in my opinion, it wasn't worth taking time off work in another country to see it. But I mean, even before I came here, and even when I was a kid, I remember like when things would happen with the royals. It was always huge news in America. So I just thought that was an interesting comment. So let's see. That was good. I like that. All right. So this one I wanted to check out because it's about Phantom of the Opera, the musical that I actually got to see here in London, and then also about getting the cheapest seat in the theater, which I've also done. So I wanted to see what their reaction was to that. So I got him the cheapest seat at the Phantom of the Opera musical London Theatre from Family Freedom. Share this shit out again.
Chicken noodles. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, make it better.
Soy sauce and spring onions.
No. Better.
A big heap of sriracha sauce, even though I don't like chili.
Wow, big heap. No, better.
Hot Szechuan pepper.
You can't even say that. Better.
Topped with a quail's eggs. And in the main bars.
You don't even know what that means.
Are the best. They're fucking hilarious. They're so crazy and off the wall. It's really funny.
We are coming to you live.
They're not live.
From our home in London. But where are you coming from, Regain? Let us know.
Come on.
Live but not live. Where you are coming from and how you are doing. We hope everything's very good.
It's freezing outside and it's evening. We're starting a video in the evening.
Oh my goodness.
Doesn't happen very often.
Jojo's been doing his homeschooling today and got into reading books, like chapter books, hours on end. I think he actually finished a book the other day and he's finished another one today.
Yeah.
He's on fire.
What's that book you finished today, Jojo?
It's called The Wild Robot, and it's a very fun book about a robot in the wild.
Oh.
How would you...
Just what it says on the book.
How would you rate it out of 10?
I would maybe rate it... It was a very good book. I rate it a 95.
The 95 out of 10,
Okay.
that's pretty good.
That is pretty
I thought you were saying out of 100. Sorry, my brain tricked me.
Not only have we been homeschooling with Jojo, we've actually been homeschooling Kat as well.
Yeah.
It's about time she learned a few things.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
She's not up to scratch on her English.
Okay.
We speak to her and she still goes back and is like, what's happening?
Also, I've been making bread today. Well, I've been teaching Jojo about sourdough starter, and he helped me feed the sourdough starter, which is how you make sourdough bread.
Yeah, that's
really
what
interesting.
That's been really handy about. We've travelled a lot of the last 6 months or so, and this is the longest period in that 6 months that we've had at home, and we've been really getting into home things like baking and sorting things out.
Yeah, we're doing all the things that we can't do when we're in the van.
Yeah, especially stuff in London.
Especially stuff in London.
Which is a good segue to what today's video is about. Because you've probably been watching for a few minutes and going, why is that one in a tie and a shirt? That one
in a onesie.
Well, that's because I'm smart and this one is stupid. Now, Katie was...
I'm glad they know us, because they know you are joking all the time.
Yeah.
He does not mean this, okay?
Katie just wanted to try and bring the balance back in our relationship. I thought, if I dress up smart and she just wears a onesie, we might be on par with each other, but it turns out she's still better.
You've just totally redeemed yourself.
Did I? Oh, because I insulted you, right, okay.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Are we actually going to genuinely tell them now?
Yeah, we're going to tell them. As you guys know, for a few years now, we have tried to lessen the things that we buy. We still do Christmas big, but we're trying to be more conscious of these experiences. And a couple of Christmases ago, we bought each other loads and loads of tickets for theatres in London, and we were just enjoying it so much.
And it's got to that time of year now, we started really looking into that. I don't know what it is about this time of year, but we really started thinking about going back to watch some of
Well, everything's opening up. Everything's open now, and it's really cool. Everything's open. So,
really
yeah, we just looked online, and we realised that actually the price has gone up so much.
When we got tickets before, we got a really good, decent price, like 50 quid and under. Most of them were like really good prices.
To get cheap theatre tickets, which I will tell you later on in the video. Yeah, but seeing as we're back in London, and also it's Bob's birthday in a couple of weeks, I thought I would have a look and see if I could get a really cheap ticket for him to go and see his favourite musical, which is
The Phantom of the Opera.
The Phantom of the Opera, which not only Bob is obsessed with, but we are all actually obsessed with this musical.
You've seen it 3 times.
I know! We took Jojo, look at...
Okay, guys, I had to stop that because it was annoying me and I was a little bored. So, sorry, family freedom. You guys seem like a really cool couple. Your kid's adorable and everything, but was not working for me. Sorry, it's not working for me at all. All right, let's see if we can. Do something a little bit different here. So the quiz night that I put out with me and my family was kind of popular, and you guys seem to like that. So I thought maybe I would do another quiz just with you guys. It's a little bit of a take on what we did before, but this one is all about Cockney. So this one is from Beano.com. It's Cockney rhyming slang quiz. Can you complete it? How much do you know about the mysterious word play favored by people in the East End of London? Take the quiz and find out. So it's Cockney rhyming slang. So Cockney, for those of you who don't know, is a dialect of the East End of London. It originated in the Middle Ages. Taking this from study.com, some bullet points here. And it's famous for being like the working people's language, right? So I don't know how true this is, but I was told that it's basically like the working class language and how they would speak to each other without the people in the higher classes knowing exactly what they're saying, what they're talking about, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so that's what I've heard. So that's what I've been told. Hopefully I'm not giving you guys misinformation. So let's see where we are. So there's 20 questions. We're going to see if I know any of them. So the first question is, what does apples and pears mean? Stairs, bears, squares, or crunchy pieces of fruit? The other thing about Cockney language is the Cockney rhymes. They rhyme in order to, they're talking about something else, and the rhyme means the word they're taught. Like the last word of the rhyme rhymes with the word that they're actually talking about. Like one that my partner uses all the time is "Where's me dog and bone," and he means phone. So I don't know if that helps explain it. I'm explaining it really awfully, like an American. So that it's probably okay. Question 1: what does apples and pears mean? Stairs, bears, squares, or crunchy pieces of fruit? I'm gonna say stairs. Does it tell you if you're right? Or will it tell you at the end? All right, number 2. What does Adam and Eve mean? Leave, believe, heave. The first 2 humans according to the Bible. Believe. Number 3. What does pork pies mean? Lies, skies, ties, pork meat wrapped in pastry with a crust. It is actually pork meat wrapped in pastry with crust, but I think it means lies. Number 4. What does Barnet Fair mean? Lair, stare, hair, a fair in Barnet. Hair? I wonder if I'm being completely daft right now. I'm just gonna go with it. What does raspberry tart mean? Art, fart, dart, a dessert using tangy fruit and a biscuit base. Yeah, art. I'm assuming all of these are Cockney rhymes, but maybe I'm wrong. What does a whistle and flute mean? Shoot, loot, suit, items operated by blowing into or across them. Suit. What does baked bean mean? Vaccine, queen, lean. It's a parboiled bean and baked in tomato sauce. Yeah. All right. So I think I'm wrong. What does boat race mean? Base, bass, chase, a competition between two. A competition. So yeah, a competition between 2 or more boats. Chase. What does bubble bath mean? Giraffe, graph, laugh, bath filled with bubbles using special soap. Laugh? Yeah, I'm really bad at this. 10. What does Dicky Bird mean? Heard, stirred, word. It's a bird called Richard. Heard? Totally random question. Which of these have you ever used? Oh. Okay with that. All right. 11. What does dustbin lid mean? Slid, kid, hid. The top of a refuse container. It's the top of a refuse container. What does Hank Marvin mean? I actually know this one. Carving, starving, barfing, or originally the name of a guitarist. It's starving. I know that because my partner uses that one too. What does loaf of bread mean? Wed, head, sled, in bread. It's bread in loaf form. Head? 14. What does mince pies mean? Eyes, lies, ties, small sweet pies eaten at Christmas. See, I know mince pies are those eaten at Christmas. I feel really, really dumb right now. Like, I think they're taking the fucking piss out of me. Plates of meat. What does plates of meat mean? Treat, street, beat. Plates use 2% cuts of meat. Treat. What does Ruby Murray mean? Hurry, flurry, curry. It's a name, nothing else. I'm going to say hurry. 17. What does skyrocket mean? I gave you guys that. Do you remember it? Do y'all remember it? I'm not even going to give you the options. No. Pocket, locket, sprocket, a projectile blasted into the clouds. It's pocket. What does tea leaf mean? Disbelief, chief, thief, small part of plant used to make tea. Ugh, I say disbelief. I don't know if they're fucking around with me or not. What does bread and honey mean? Funny, money, bunny. Seriously, it's a bed. It's bread and a product made by bees. I'm gonna say money. And the last one is, what does frog and toad mean? Explode, code, road. It sounds like the name of an amphibian-based TV show. Let's say road. So how do I know if it's right or not? I got 11 out of 20. So I got, let's go from the top. So apples and pears means stairs. Cool. Adam and Eve means believe. Nice. Pork pies is lies. Nice. Barnet Fair is hair. Raspberry tart means fart. Okay, keep that in my mind. Whistle and flute means suit. Got that one. Baked bean means queen. Ah, I put down the obvious one because I thought they were fucking with me. Boat race means face. Huh. I had chase. Okay. Bubble bath is laugh. Dicky bird is word, not heard. Dustbin lid means kid. It's interesting. Okay. Hank Marvin is starving. Loaf of bread is head. Got that one. Mince pies is eyes. I did not get that one because I put the actual, not the Cockney answer. What does plate of meat mean? I put treat, but it means feet. Okay. Ruby Murray. I put hurry, but it means curry. Skyrocket means pocket. Tea leaf. I put disbelief, but it means thief. And bread and honey means money. And frog and toad means road. So I got 11 out of 20. Really, really bad at British shit. I'm going to put something else out I did the other day. I took the British citizenship quiz, and I think I got like the minimum you need to get to become a citizen. I'm going to put that one out too because, whatever. It was fun though. So I have another video that I was gonna watch. You guys up for that? Let's do this one. All right. He shows from Brit Monkey how America got stupid. This might be a little serious. I was hoping it would be more fun. Let's see if I can find the fun one. Hold up one second.
Ageism is so embedded in our society that it...
I just had a therapy session earlier, so I need a little decompress. Getting therapy was probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life. Completely transformed my mental health and my self-confidence and self-esteem. It's just invaluable what you learn from it. But after therapy, like, you just need to wind down because it can be a little bit emotional, especially if you're like crying like me. I love a little cry. Like, I like that emotional release, and I like that I feel comfortable enough with my therapist to like show that kind of emotion, right? The number one question I always get asked is, how do you find a therapist? Because I feel like it's something a lot of people want to do, but it's a bit daunting just scouring the internet. For that, I definitely recommend BetterHelp. It just makes the process so much easier. BetterHelp is an online private pay therapy platform with over 4,000 credentialed counselors in the UK network. And what's great is you don't need a referral to start therapy. You start by filling out a short questionnaire which helps define your needs from therapy. And the next step, which personally I think is the most important, is saying what you are looking for from therapy and what kind of therapy you want, because there's so many different types. I personally needed someone to look into my past and how that's affecting me now, and also to help me set goals and like manage these issues. It really is very unique and personal to you. BetterHelp.
Sorry, y'all. Thanks for hanging in there with me. It seems like it'd be funny. It's just Jonathan Ross and Michael McIntyre. Jonathan Ross has a late night show. Michael McIntyre is like a comedian and game show host, and he's pretty funny. So let me see if I can get this. Yeah, here we go. There we go. This is a clip out on YouTube, so hopefully it won't get copyrighted on that.
The language, to change it, to make them understand it more. Go with me on this, because I've thought it through. They've changed it, okay? That's my American accent. So things like a little bit more, okay? That's my American accent. So things like pavement. So they can't work with pavement, like paper basket. They need to know not only what to put in it, they needed to know that not only it was paper, but waste paper, and that it goes into a basket. It's not just any paper. They kept throwing away fresh paper for a period before they introduced the word waste paper basket. It's like they need instructions. Glasses for your eyes, they call them eyeglasses. They needed to know.
I had a whole conversation at work with someone about that. They're called eyeglasses in America.
And they would say, I can't see any better with my eyes. And then somebody went, no, they're eyeglasses. Well, why didn't you call them eyeglasses? There's a game called squash. What they were going to be playing with, a racquetball, and even then they get confused because there's no court. They don't know where to go. They have to change that. But my favorite one, without a shadow of a doubt, is horse riding. Do you know what horse riding is in America? It's not called horse riding, no. Horseback riding. Well, yeah.
100%.
Because there was a period of time when they did. This is how they ride the horse. This may have been flicking the channels. That's not a moment you were. This was a story about American and descriptive words.
I've never been in the Mile High Club.
Ooh.
So wait. Harry, what are you waiting for? Come on,
Yeah, that's 100. Americans, but Americans, the whole like background of that is that Americans purposely changed a whole bunch of shit around and purposely changed the names of things from Britain to not be British once we won the Revolutionary War on purpose. So we like my God Save the King, God Save the Queen is the national anthem of Britain. It's My Country 'Tis of Thee in America. We use the same exact tune and just put different words to it, and we consider it an American and an anthem type, pro America kind of song. We do that a lot, all over the fucking place. Well, that's very American to rob someone else's culture and pass it off as ours. That's not an American thing at all. Oh, I no, that was good. That was good. Yeah. I think I'm gonna end it there. Unless I don't know, I'll give it a couple more minutes. Let me see if I can find something else funny. Hold up. Okay, here we go. Let's try this. I'm so sorry that my laptop is so fucking shitty and slow. I do have to invest in a new one, but first I have to get a job, an actual permanent full-time job. Fingers crossed soon, because yeah. I wonder if I could do this next time and set it up on my TV.
Self-assessment. No guessing. Just answers. We estimate your income tax for you using the transactions you've had.
I didn't do my taxes.
Lemonade?
Yeah. I have to. So my partner and I both worked early in 2023, and in America, you have to actually file your own taxes. So I have to get all that paperwork and stuff from our jobs in America last year in order to file taxes. Forgot about that.
In today's episode of the vlog, we're talking about some of the things that British people find weird that Americans do. That's coming right up after this. Hello everybody, how are you doing now?
You guys are so lovely and patient. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. All right, so this is eight American things British people find weird. So this is from Sean on YouTube. Give the man credit. Sean on YouTube. Let's see what he's got going on.
And welcome to today's episode of the vlog. Thank you
I'm gonna guess that this is an Irish accent.
so much for joining me. My name is Sean and I'm a YouTuber from Edinburgh.
He's gonna say Edinburgh. It's gonna be Scotland.
In Scotland, right here on my channel, I talk about the cultural exchange themes that I have been kind of exploring over the last while between.
Why does it keep doing that?
Scotland, UK in general, and the United States of America, because there's some really deep connection. A lot of people in America want to know about the UK, about Scotland in particular, through their heritage, through their ancestry, and I think kind of bigger pieces that I'm going to do a lot of little stuff.
All right, hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna try one more thing to make this a little bit better. Come on. All right, I guess that's not gonna happen. I don't know why it's not working properly all of the sudden, but anyway, all right, let's talk about something else. I'm gonna get a little personal with y'all, if you don't mind. Something that's been on my mind that I've been battling the last few months. And I didn't know if I was going to talk about it online because it's really personal. But I have to just be honest with it. And I'm struggling with it. So there's not much else I can say or do about the situation. All I can do is just be honest with what's happening. Right? So we've hit, it's 11 months. 11 months? Yeah, it's February. So it'll be 11 months in a week or so, officially, that we've been here in the UK. You know, things are going okay. I obviously need to find a job. We're having some issues with our apartment. Management stuff. I'll talk about that at another time. But so we're having some issues with our apartment. But overall, we're doing pretty good. Just still settling in, but it's slowly every day it's starting to become more and more comfortable. But I have completely lost touch with my mother. It is I have not spoken to her in any form since September. So holidays have gone by, nothing. She hasn't reached out to me once. She didn't say Happy Thanksgiving. She hasn't said Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. How are things going? I know that she reached out to my daughter a couple times. I'm not going to really speak on that too much because, that's between them. And, their relationship is their relationship, and it's separate from my relationship with my mother. And I'm okay with that. Like, I want that. I don't want my relationship with my mother to be reflected and dependent on anyone else's relationship. And vice versa. I don't want her relationships to be, determined by what my relationship status is with my mother. I went through that when I was younger, and it wasn't pleasant, and I have very, very tough memories about that time with people, family members that I was not able to be in contact with because my mother was having issues with them. So anyway, so I purposely, I've tried really hard to make sure that there's a separation between my relationship with anyone in the family and my daughter's relationship with anyone in the family. With that being said, I am glad that she has reached out to my daughter a little bit because that's more important in my eyes. But I don't have any contact with her. I have tried to reach out a couple times, not often, I'm not gonna lie, not often, because, but I have tried, but I never really got any responses. And I know this is gonna sound a bit maybe selfish and petty and maybe a little bit juvenile, but she's the parent. It's not my responsibility to make sure that she has a relationship with her child. I have things going on. I have my own child to raise. I have my own marriage to, work on and make sure that, is healthy and going okay. I have this massive life change that I'm dealing with. I have to maintain relationships of my own friendships, my own relationships with other members of the family, my own relationships with friends overseas, my relationships with my niece and nephew, my daughter's children as well. And all of that takes a lot out of me. And I'm happy to have these relationships and be able to keep in touch and have, continue them even in the circumstances that I'm in. But, and I'm also happy to have tried, but I don't think that it should be on me all the time. And to be completely honest, it has been on me all the time for a really long time, well before I moved to England. And as much as, I care about my mom, especially given the circumstances now with my dad gone and my sister gone, of course I care and I want her to be well and everything. But at the same time, it's a lot of stress for me to maintain that relationship. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of time out of my life. And I don't feel like she's giving me any of that back in return. And if it was anybody else, they would have been cut off a long time ago. So why does she deserve anything more? I'm in the second half of my life. She's had a really, really long time to try to cultivate this relationship, to try to put this, relationship into a position where we are on good terms, where we are communicating on a regular basis, and we both know how each other feels, yet she can't seem to make me a priority. It's really sad, and it makes me feel horrible, obviously, because I don't have any family now, I feel like, other than my immediate family and my sister's kids. And I feel very let down. I knew that my mother was struggling with the move. When we made the decision to move, I knew right away that it was going to be hard. I just know her. I knew she was going to feel, it was going to feel personal, obviously, but it was going to also feel like, it was also going to be, her feelings about the situation were going to be more of a priority than what motivated us to make this decision, what we were going through to make this decision, what we needed help with to get to where we had to go, and to make sure that we were settled and happy once we got here. I knew all of that was going to be a second to how she was feeling, what she was going through, her feelings. I know, from what I know of her, obviously, because I haven't had that many conversations with her, I know she feels a bit abandoned. I know she feels a bit lost. I know she feels a bit, I'm sure she feels lonely and alone and isolated as well. And I feel bad for that. I really feel bad for it. But at the same time, I'm the one who left. It's really hard. And I should not have to worry, or even, it shouldn't even be a thought as to whether or not this is going to ruin my relationship with my mother. But it has. Now, to be fair, our relationship was never super strong. But I guess I naively thought that if anything was going to bring us closer, it would have been my sister's death, and that didn't happen, or my father's death, that didn't happen, or the fact that we were leaving and she was going to have difficulty, that we were going to be in another country, and that it might motivate her to try a little harder to have a solid relationship with me and my daughter. But it hasn't. It's disappointing. But the reality is the reality. And as I said earlier, if it was anybody else in my life, they would have been cut off already, long before now. And it's just really, really difficult when you realize that you literally have no family left. I'm really happy that I'm able to keep in touch with my sister's kids, because I thought that was going to be difficult. It still is difficult, especially because I was fucking up some tech stuff, and for a month or so, I was like, I'm trying to text them and they weren't getting it. What happened? It was all me being a big boomer about it and everything. But again, it's my responsibility to maintain that relationship with them, because they're the kids, right? They have things going on. They have school, and they have a limited awareness and grasp of the actual concept of living in another country and not being able to see and the permanency of it and everything, just as my daughter does. And that's why she struggled when she first got here, because it didn't really hit her until she got here what was actually happening. But I am a mother, and I would do anything for my child. She is priority over my partner, over my work, over myself in most cases. And if this was a situation between me and her, if this situation arises in the future, which is very possible, I wouldn't write her off. I would call her all the time. I would text her all the time. She's at school and I text her 2 or 3 times a week while she's at school, just saying, hey, hope you're having a good day, asking her a question randomly or whatever. So she just gets back to me on a break. Or she'll wait until, she gets home from school and we'll talk about it then or whatever. I do the same thing with my partner and I do the same thing with a lot of my friends. And I'd be perfectly happy having that relationship with my mother. She doesn't seem to want to do that. And, or, I think probably more likely is she's got to invest in some kind of technology, like downloading a free app like Instagram or something and just DM me. And she doesn't want to go through all of that trouble because it's not easy for her. But again, going back to the fact that, if my daughter was in that situation, there's nothing that would stop me from reaching out to her. Nothing in the world that would stop me. I would, if I don't talk to her for a couple days, I feel uncomfortable. Just because I don't know what's going on. Now, she's younger, so it's a little different. Obviously, when you're older, you're going to have some distance. She's going to have her own life. And I don't want to be that mom that has to keep tabs all the time when she has her own life, when she's an adult and she's living her life, especially if she's abroad, because it's impossible. But, I lived with my partner in America, my partner is British. I lived with him in America for a long time, and he was able to maintain relationships with his family, with his parent, with his mother, with his 2 brothers and their kids. We didn't talk all the time, and there were times when we would be on the phone for hours, and then there were times it would be like a 5 or 10 minute whatever, or it would just be a text. Especially, he has one brother that lives in New Zealand, so that was difficult sometimes. So sometimes it would just be messaging through, social media or something, sending videos of the kids back and forth, things like that. But at least we got there. We tried to do something, and we kept it going. I just naively thought that there'd be a little bit more of an effort, for that she would try a little bit more. And really, really, really disappointed. And it really bummed me out, especially around the holidays, because Halloween is big for me. My daughter loves it, I love it, and it's like just something that we've always celebrated a lot. As it's our immediate family, I've always celebrated it with my sister's kids, or a lot of times I've celebrated it with my sister's kids. So it was big for me that I was here for Halloween, and they don't celebrate Halloween really here at all. That was a big deal. And then Thanksgiving, it was my first Thanksgiving abroad, and I was on my own by myself and with my immediate family, but nobody else celebrates it around here. And I tried my best, but I was kind of bummed out by that. I was stressing out from work. I was having a hard time at work. And, winter was just settling in. And then it was Christmas, and I missed, my family. I missed my dad, I missed my sister, and I missed everybody in America. And it just seems like none of that matters to her. Or I'm an afterthought. And it's a really, really hard pill to swallow when you realize your own mother thinks of you as an afterthought. But that's my life right now. So, so far, everything else is pretty much going well here in England. The 11-month anniversary feels good. Sometimes it feels like we've been here a little bit longer. Sometimes it feels like we just got here. But overall, I'm enjoying it. I like it. I do enjoy the atmosphere. I enjoy the culture. I just really want to find something that I'm comfortable with that brings me in some money so I can take some financial burden off of, the situation we're in right now. And the apartment issue is going to have to be resolved soon too. I'll get into that next time. But yeah, I'm just really bummed out. And I feel horrible because at the very least, I thought she'd make more of an effort with my daughter. But, and it infuriates me that she considers my daughter an afterthought. That makes me angry more than anything else. Because I have a thick skin and I've been through a lot and I can take just mostly anything. But when you start fucking around with my kid, it's when big walls start going up. So I don't know if my mother's gonna see this or anyone in my family's gonna see this, but I'm not gonna hide it. I'm not gonna pretend like it's not happening just to protect her because she's not doing anything to help me or protect me. Anyway, way to end on something really depressing and somber. You guys like that? Let's see if this comes up now. Let's see. All right, let's do this one. It's kind of fun. I think it's fun. The Great British Pop Culture Explained, another Jimmy the Giant or video.
The whole
But
love of journalism.
next time I will do better. I'll works out better.
Stop to sell your courses or
Stop.
coaching programs at the end of a webinar. There's a new way of...
What's going on here? So someone did tell me, someone that commented on one of my other videos, and he said that beer or ale drinking in England is such a huge part of the culture here because of like the 17th and 18th, I guess early 19th century as well, where they couldn't trust.
Better way is called the Webinar Blueprint. This will walk you through a simple presentation style that will allow you to take a prospect from being completely...
Thank you. Yeah, so the early, the 17th, 18th, early 19th century, they would, the water was really toxic because of all the waste that was just being thrown in the streets and stuff like that. Obviously, animals would bathe in it and things like that. So it was really, really bad for you. So people didn't trust drinking water, especially if you were in the cities. So they would drink beer and wine. Mostly wine would be something that, upper class would drink because it's a little more expensive. But yeah, they would drink beer because they didn't trust the water and stuff. So they would drink the beer thinking it was safer for them and that they would live longer. And that's why the culture has become kind of centered around pubs and stuff. Plus, I was also told, and I want to say this was a museum. I can't remember the name of which one, but I remember having a conversation with someone in a museum about pub culture, and that they were saying that pubs would like cash paychecks and stuff, or the workers would often get paid in cash. And if they did get a pay stub or some kind of IOU or something, you would be able to go to a pub and get it cashed, right? So that means you would turn it in and get the cash, and they would get it from the employer later or something. So they would just stay around and have a pint or something like that, and it became a social thing too, where you would meet up with your social clubs and things like that. Especially gentlemen, men, working men would go after work or at lunch, and that would be what they did, and before they went home to their families and spent the weekend with their families or the day, because if they got a day off. So it would be more like that. So that's why apparently the pub culture is such a big deal, and drinking itself is such a huge deal. They are literally everywhere here. There's pubs everywhere here. They are on every corner. This town, I mean, just this neighborhood that I live in, has like 3 in just this neighborhood, which is like, I don't know, 10 blocks maybe, big, wide, 10 by 10 maybe. It's there's 3 pubs. It is. I always knew it was a culture, but I didn't know it would be on like every corner kind of culture. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a huge part of the culture. Highly recommend going for a pub lunch. Go during the week if you're ever in England and you are here during the week. Go during the week because usually there's specials, and you'll see the pub culture. You'll see a huge wave of people come in around noon, 12:30, have their lunch, and then by 2, everybody's gone and it's dead. But they'll have like a couple pints while they're there, and then you just go back to the office. It's really funny, or wherever you're working. It's really funny to me. I remember the first time I did it, I was baffled, and it literally is dead like at 2 o'clock or 1:30ish, I guess. By the time they're getting back to 10 till 2, they're getting back to their workplaces. It's really funny, and it's not, they don't care about there's not a huge a taboo around drinking during working hours. Obviously, you can't just sit at your desk and get sloshed while you're while you're working, and you can't be belligerent and obnoxious, obviously. But this personal responsibility is big here, and you're just like, if you're gonna do it, then you got to make sure that you can still do your job. I'm sure there's bigger restrictions and stuff when it comes to machinery and driving. Well, if you have, for those people who have places like salespeople and repair people who have to like drive to the destination, then I'm sure there's a much stricter policy on that. But for the most part, it's personal responsibility. And the pubs, because of the way the towns are set up, because they're so frequent, they're so easily accessible, you just walk to it. Most people don't even drive. You just, even if you work in the office or you work somewhere and you drive to work, there's usually a pub or something like that local that to where you're working that you can just stop in. So like you just walk there, you have a pint or two, you walk back, and then you're fine by the time you need to go home for work, right? And the drinking and driving laws are very strict here, but the overall culture around drinking is so much more relaxed and so much more just if you do something stupid, then that's on you, and you should check yourself out and get yourself together. But here it's just a lot more relaxed. It's not as taboo. And like they have beer gardens, and the families, kids are around in the pubs and stuff. It's not the same. It's cool. I like it. It's part of the culture that I like a lot. I like a lot of stuff that's happening. A lot of the culture here, it's so much more communal. There's so many things about living in England that I like. I'm doing some videos too about things that I really love, some culture shock things, all stuff like that. They're all coming out over the next couple of weeks. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. I'm going to end the stream there. I really appreciate everybody coming out and doing this live stream with me. Thank you for all the likes. Thanks for the comments. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to probably try to do this again soon. I like it. It's fun. I like chatting with y'all and doing fun stuff. I like live stuff. I've always liked live stuff more. I like live theater. I like live music. I like having conversations face to face with people. It's more fun, I think. I like doing the videos because some of the things obviously you just can't do live, and with my family and keeping the boundaries out for them, it's difficult, obviously, to do live stuff. But then you have to take a break every once in a while, right? And just reset, disconnect every once in a while. But overall, I love doing this. I love sharing this culture with you, and I love learning about it. And I love that you guys school me too. You guys, I like that. There's a lot of people who are not afraid to correct me and send me all kinds of comments and messages about, yeah, this was wrong. You were wrong on this, and it's gonna happen. It's probably gonna happen more often than not. I've just accepted the fact that I'm probably wrong about 90% of it, and that I'm never gonna feel 100% comfortable again. That's my life. Welcome to it. But if you do want to subscribe to see some videos, shorts, to find out when live streams are coming, hit that subscribe button. Leave me some comments. Love interacting with you guys. Like this, share it if you want. Yeah, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for spending time with me this afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, no matter what you're doing, and I will catch up with you later. Bye.